Technically, I think the music is made in many different ways. Obviously, it's a lot of recording vocals, but then I take a lot of recordings and I resample them. I use them in synthesis, and so I'm almost transforming the voice with digital technology so that it starts to sound like, I'm not sure if I can tell whether this is a computer or it is a voice. And I like to play with that distinction of how much of it is technology and how much is maybe organic, and what are the boundaries between that? How much can you blend the technological and the human together and play with that in a kind of fun way? So I started understanding community in a church setting as a child, but I'm not Christian, and I always had issues with Christianity. So what I value from that setting is the worship, the ritual, the coming together, kind of marking time. People go to church every Sunday. I think what they're doing is they're coming together also to feel gratitude, to feel connected to other people, to feel grounded, and to feel that they can also be vulnerable to share experiences of what they're going through, to share with their community. I think that's a really beautiful, essential activity for us as humans to be able to do that, to be able to gather and think about, reflect on the world and reflect on our lives. And the rave side of things, I think, is about ritual in another way. It's physical and it's very sensory. It's something kind of that goes beyond the body and beyond everyday reality. This is the part that is ecstasy, pure ecstasy. And I think that my experiences in both of those worlds have brought me into a position now in my life and in my work where I feel more connected to a kind of ideas of paganism or contemporary paganism of really worshiping sensuality and the earth and our bodies and science and poetry and all of these things that bring me joy in my life. Worshiping community, worshiping connections, worshiping technological advancement, all of these things that make our lives kind of beautiful. So in that sense, it's not related to the church anymore, but there is this sense of ritual, this sense of coming together. So Meredith Monk, I first discovered her work when I was at music conservatory, and I performed some of her choral music. I was part of many students at my music conservatory who would put on concerts of contemporary music. This is where I first encountered her work. And I've encountered her work throughout my life in different ways. I started to listen to her work more a few years ago. I think Meredith Monk did something very powerful where she was able to bring the presence of the body, the physical body, into a space of poetry with voice and movement and theater. I think also in Meredith Monk, there's a lot of healing in her work. There's a lot of moving through the body to feel where there might be little pains or little things that need to be let out or expressed, and just letting her intuition guide her and bringing more people into her work to do this. It seems like a very spiritual practice to me. So I think without a doubt, I couldn't be doing what I'm doing now without understanding her work as a musical foremother, someone who came before me and also started to pave this path in a contemporary art and music scene, which is something new. And Meredith Monk also said a quote that I think about quite often. She was interested in making the voice dance and making the body sing, thinking about what if the body was singing and what if the voice was dancing. I think about that all the time when I'm singing. How could you, what does my voice sound like if it's dancing? If my voice was at a party, how would it dance? You know, and I think this is a beautiful idea. It's full of life, and it's full of joy, and it's full of possibility. I was always inspired by Laurie Anderson because she seemed to create a space in music where she was able to combine idioms of American pop music with classical music, American minimal music, coming from the style of Philip Glass or Steve Reich, and theater and technology. And so her work became this almost like a laboratory of combining all of these different cultural elements that no one had really put together in that same way before. I think that Laurie Anderson opened up a really unique space for artists after her to look at many different art forms and think, how can I combine this in performance? How can I combine many different art forms and technology and bring also brilliant theatrical presence to a show? And Laurie Anderson is performing today as we're shooting this interview. And I'm really excited to see her show in a few hours.